Welcome everyone to In the Cosmos from the De Anza College Planetarium for July 8th, 2020. My name is Toshi Komatsu and I'm your host and the director of the planetarium. This episode is the first in a series of how to find binocular targets in the sky. This time we'll focus on a double star and a star cluster. Let's go! Our first target is a pair of stars often referred to as the double-double, officially known as Epsilon Lyrae. We'll find it in the constellation of Lyra the Harp. So here we are looking at the eastern part of the sky on July 11th, 9:45 p.m. local daylight time. At this time, the sun is well down, the sky is nice and dark, and Lyra is high up in the sky, nearly 60 degrees. To find it, usually I look for Vega first, and that's going to be a very bright star, pretty high up. It's one of the brightest stars in the sky. Now, Lyra is made up of Vega, which you can see here, and then there's this parallelogram of stars just pointing to the southeast of Vega. That parallelogram forms the strings of the harp, again, Lyra the Harp. If you look to the northeast of Vega, there is a little star, and to the naked eye, it looks like a single star, but this is Epsilon Lyrae, and in binoculars, you can find out that it's in fact a double star here. So let's go ahead and zoom in on this star. You'll find that there's actually two stars there. And although you can't see it in binoculars, each one of these stars actually has a companion. One of those actually has two companions, making it so that there's actually 5 stars total in the system. But you can see the two of them through binoculars, and you can see them through a telescope as well. Now, our next target for the day is called the Great Globular Cluster in Hercules. A globular cluster is a compact sphere or globe of stars, and typically the stars are older, rivaling the age of the universe itself. This cluster is known as Messier 13 and is the brightest globular cluster in the northern hemisphere, but it can be a little tricky to find. This time of year, M13 is fairly high in the sky, so let's move our view up a little bit higher. And I'm also going to pan out a little bit. What I'm looking for is a star here called Arcturus. I'm going to pan out a little bit as well because I want you to be able to find it. You can find Arcturus by finding the Big Dipper first, and that has a famous grouping of 7 bright stars there that make up the Dipper here with its handle. And what you can do is you can follow the arc to Arcturus, and that's how you can find Arcturus. It's another very bright star. It's even brighter than Vega. And the next thing that you want to do is actually you want to make a line in the sky from Vega going to Arcturus. You go from Vega to Arcturus, and about 1/3 of the way from Vega, you'll find what looks like kind of a trapezoid of stars here. That trapezoid is the heart of Hercules, the great hero. That particular trapezoid is sometimes referred to as the keystone, and if we zoom in on the keystone, then we can find the Great Globular Cluster a little bit easier here. Right in between, about 1/3 of the way between this star and this star in that trapezoid is where we find the Great Star Cluster, M13. And we're going to go ahead and zoom in on it like you would if you've got some binoculars. You might need some pretty hefty binoculars, but if you do, you'll be rewarded with this fantastic view of this fuzzy thing here in the sky. Through binoculars, you might be able to just see sort of the fuzzy core or the core as a little fuzzy patch there. And what we're looking at here is nearly 1 million stars, and they're approximately 12 billion years old. It'll help to move your eye around a little bit in your eyepiece or in your binoculars so that you can catch the dim fuzzy. But if you do spot it, know that what you'll be looking at is one of the oldest easily visible objects in the universe, and the light hitting your eyes is over 20,000 years old. Well, that's it for this edition of In the Cosmos. Hopefully you enjoyed it and learned a little something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, and be sure to click on the bell to get a notification every time we post a new video. You can learn more about the planetarium and more astronomical goodness on all of our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. you can click on the links below for in the description. Till next time, thank you for checking in, and here's wishing you clear, dark skies. This is the De Anza College Planetarium, signing off.